Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to show you how you can use Claude or AI to uh, use voice memos at the end of each day or whenever you feel like it, just giving an update on how the day went, things like symptoms, anything you want to remember, um, just kind of general mood, really anything that you want to talk about to summarize the day. And the idea of it is that you create sort of a memory of all the things that have happened so that you can then reference it so that the AI essentially always knows what you're talking about, and can just really give good advice based on that, help coordinate things. Like an example might be at the end of the week, you might say, summarize these voice memos or summarize everything that happened this week, and send a text message to my siblings, or summarize an email for my siblings, and then based on the things that have happened this week, or potentially if you have a doctor's appointment, you could then use that information for prepping for a doctor's appointment, or really anything, just all sorts of things that you can do, pattern detection, things like that. So I'll just give you, this is Claude, and this is the desktop, but you can also access it on a browser. You can access it as an app on your phone. It's really the same as ChatGPT, which has similar functions. I might create a video, but Claude is pretty good. I like Claude a lot. And so you just go and you go on Claude and you go to projects, and then you go to create a new project. Actually, I did this already. So you would go to create a new project, and then it will ask you for a description of what the project is about. And I put mom's life, and then I put, let me put here, this is for recording daily or whatever cadence that you like in terms of the timeline. This is for recording daily summaries of care, essentially. It doesn't really quite matter what you put here. This is just more for your reference. But then in the instructions, which is over here, um, I put, you are helping me track and care for my mom, Margaret, 78. And you can give more context if you like. The more context, really, the better. In essence, you could probably add all sorts of things here. You can add project instructions, and if you want to add files that you create with AI, that kind of you can just summarize real quick the anything you want about your parent or your parents, age, preferences, daily schedule, doctors, recent symptoms, really anything that you want, you can put in here as reference, so that every time you're communicating with AI or asking it to help with something, that it has that as a reference. And then as you're using these voice memos, that continues to add each day to the context, and you can pull from that, and that gives you kind of a lot of additional power with AI. And so here, yeah, I said, you are helping me track and care for my mom, Margaret, 78. You are an expert and kind caregiving coordinator. Please help me manage care for my mom. And then you just go in here, and you can just use the voice. You can just take an app, or jump on your laptop or your phone, and then just use this, and just quickly record a voice message about what happened during the day. This was an example of what I wrote. I just said, please record this in memory. This was all just, I just voice chatted this to AI, and I said, Tuesday, June 4th, update on mom. She had a rough morning. I called at 9 and she sounded foggy. I didn't remember that we talked yesterday about the cardiology appointment Thursday. She did take all her morning pills. I confirmed with her on FaceTime. She mentioned her ankles feel puffy again. That's the heart failure thing. I want to bring up with Dr. Patel on Thursday. Flag it for me. So that would be an example of just something that, like, when you're asking for summaries, it knows what to pull out, like what exactly, like if you specifically say remind me of this, it will remind it to you when you ask for a summary of the week, let's say. There's more things you can do with that, but that's just an example. She ate a half a bowl of cereal for breakfast, said she wasn't hungry for lunch when I asked. Watched her shows in the afternoon. Mike called her around 4. He said she was sharper by then, talked for 20 minutes. I'm worried about the puffy ankles. Last time that happened, she ended up in the ER 3 weeks later. Note that. Otherwise, the day was okay. And you can have it can be more than just a summary. Like um, you can have it kind of just respond as like you are an expert in whatever it is, an expert cardiologist or an expert this or an expert that, which helps it really hone in on the advice that it's giving you, because it knows where to pull that from, more so than if you're just giving general instructions to the AI. So yeah, so then it has that. Um, and then you can just say, here was just an example. Hi, can you give me a paragraph summary of what went on this past week? And in this case, it was just one entry. But just imagine you do that, each day or a couple times a week. It has that it can pull from, and then it just summarizes this for you, like what you've talked about. Um, so yeah, so um, yeah, I think that that's it. There's a lot more that you can do with this. This was just a simple example of just utilizing voice entries and creating a particular project. The What I'd like to get to is something that's like a context for as much as possible of like care management responsibilities, coordination, sending emails, sending texts, doing research, summarizing doctor visits, summarizing, helping with helping with research on financial things, on things related to Medicare, um, whatever it might be. And then it's just something that has like a growing kind of context of your parents. So I think, I think this could be really good. But anyways, this was just a quick video on how to use voice memos, and create a quick project in AI. Thanks.